Good evening and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where we seem to have mostly tidied up the goblin corpses. We seem to be getting quite good at that now, which is nice, considering, well, we've still got an awful lot of the local wildlife scattered around all over the place, plus quite a lot of goblin armour and a cage here that... Oh, that's in the cage trap. What's the... Oh, and a giant hamster. We've caught a giant hamster and a kiwi in two separate cages on that square. Someone should transport them back to the fortress so that we can train them. That's a kiwi, the bird, not the fruit. Kiwi fruit, I think, also exists in Dwarf Fortress, but...
You assumed I was asking about the kiwi, not the hamster.
Sorry?
You assumed I was asking about the kiwi, not the hamster.
Hamsters aren't fruit. Yes. And we're trying to tidy up the all of the other dead things. Oh, there are still some goblins lying around, aren't there? Yes. Not many, though. And, we will keep shifting things. That's a lot of messages. Some tribute has arrived. It is now autumn. We are making things out of beak dog bone, which is at least reasonably valuable. Unlike, say, beeswax. I mean, a beak dog bone bracelet is still not worth very much, but... yes, one thing I'm trying to do is to collect corpses of anything sentient here, and to dump, since we don't seem to be able, for non-sentient creatures, we don't seem to be able to separate them by species, so I need to put explicit efforts into dumping things that aren't valuable. Giant dingoes are reasonably valuable. Beak dogs are reasonably valuable. Dang might have been a beak dog once, who knows? Feathers are worthless. Cartilage is worthless. Tooth might be usable. Don't know what you are. Giant cardinals are not worth anything, though. Don't know if giant dingo nail is big enough to be butcherable, and its scale is generally unbutcherable. Giant leopard geckos, I think, turn out to be not very valuable. Let's just look them up. And I've already got a tab with the Dwarf Fortress wiki on it. Giant leopard gecko. Why can't we have giant leopards instead? They'd be much more fun. Yes, materials are not worth anything special. Plus, its tail scale is not actually usable for anything. Tearsal peregrine, similarly. So yes, yes, we're now loading beak dogs into the thing for hurling cages into the sea, because they're just as... I don't think we can actually usefully tame them unless we really want a loyalty cascade on our hands. Hint, we don't. Yes, that's already marked for dumping. Giant Kia skeleton. Bet giant Kias aren't interesting either. No. So we can dump that too. Oh, it's already marked for dumping because I'm stoked. I should actually look Oh dear, we found another dead dog. Well, that's kind of fine. We don't have a shortage of dogs. Dump that. Looks like the mist generator is actually stable, just being left to continuously fill itself, which is nice. Or rather, to continuously be filled, to be continuously filled. Oh, it's a tiny vile force of darkness, everyone. Let's turn off the Necrogobopolis railway. There's a sensible option, a sensible way of turning this off. Like, I mean, I can delete the condition, but that seems kind of excessive. Oh, I can just forbid the minecart, can't I? That'll do the trick. And like, obviously is a reasonable approach to that problem. Right, and then we can safely pull the lever to raise that. Raise the bridges over there. It's a small vile force of darkness, so they're not going to be much of a problem. It appears to be 5 goblins. 6 goblins. Maybe they're still arriving. They've probably brought some thieves with them as well. Yep, there we are. Found at least 1 goblin thief. They haven't managed to trip any of the cage. They're neatly walking round my cage traps. Go on, walk through a cage trap, one of you. This is most annoying. Well done, they've all missed the cage traps. Oh, second, third and third thief. Oh dear, that poor goblin thief leapt onto the island in the middle of the river that turned out to have a weapon trap on it. It now has even more stuff on it. Where are the other goblins? I've lost them. Oh right, they're hanging back a bit, I think, and taking pot shots at people. Look, I think this must be the new improved archery mechanisms, or rather intelligence. Observe the goblins not rushing forwards towards the dwarves, but instead staying on their own side of the river and shooting at us. Indeed, retreating slightly. They are actually willing us to come after them. That means they're going back past the line of cage traps. Oh, have we got one of them? We've got one of them. They're not quite willing to come back past the line of cage traps. But we have got a decent number of goblins massed here now. Okay, one of them has taken the station instruction as meaning that they should be inside the bathhouse, which is hugely helpful. Well, was that a goblin leaving the map? Okay, the goblins are leaving the map. They've decided that was enough. One of them getting imprisoned was quite enough, right?
Proof that your cage trap worked, right?
Yes, yes. Then the dwarves turned up and looked fierce at them, and they left again.
Sweet.
One goblin did get minced by a weapon trap. So I should just check that the thieves did actually all get nabbed. Looks like it, yes. They mostly died through largely incompetence. Oh, it looks like we may have caged more, well, possibly some of those. Hang on, there's still a goblin crossbow bod uncaged on the map somewhere. Oh yes, there they are.
Probably take pills and go to bed soon because someone's stoked.
Someone has just dropped a cage. Someone was trying to come up and refill a cage trap, but got shot at. Well, we'll see what this goblin does. Maybe they'll tread on another cage trap. No. Ooh. No. I think we'll have to send some dwarves after them then. Can I just find a nearby military dwarf? Someone should be on patrol. There's someone on patrol. If I just select you and go military, I only get... So you're in the Salty Inks and your name is Nish. So can I then just go members of the Salty Inks, Nish, please go and kill... Lost them again. Goblin who's over here somewhere. There. That goblin. Actually, there are quite a few. Okay, that order didn't seem to take. Actually, you also have the Salty Inks. Well, let's send the whole of the Salty Inks over there. One of them will get organised if, like, the goblin doesn't tread on a cage trap first. Or leave the map. What we got by way of combat logs? Yes, so foolish goblin thief who trod on a weapon trap. Another foolish goblin thief who trod on a weapon trap. Other than that, we don't seem to have any notes from the goblins at all. Yes, as Seb says, they came for a bit of twing twang and then went off again. Apart from the one who is still lurking around, going, where have all my mates gone? Well, some of them are in cages. And you're about to discover why they ran away. So you are doing a pretty decent job of scaring off the civilian dwarves. Oh, they've left the map. Right. No more goblins. Still wondering how I could organise the general corpse disposal in a way like of non-sentient animals in a way that allows me to keep the good ones without having to like go through them all carefully, marking them for dumping or not. Because I prefer to put them through a system like we're using for goblin parts, which are more, which is more efficient in bulk. But we only see, I mean, we could try. Well, what happens if we like do the probably useless thing of saying, put dog corpses in here? Dog corpses are already on the list, right? So I think that will demonstrate that indeed we're not getting any dog corpses in this stockpile. Is there anything coming into stockpile 64? Only one item being moved to stockpile 64 at the moment. So we could try to set up some relatively efficient system for melting all this copper armour down. All moving quite quickly. Because at the moment it ends up being dragged quite a long way down. To a smelter down here, because that's near to where we make coal. But possibly we would do better to I mean, I suppose what we would really do better to do is actually start using magma, because then we can melt things down much more efficiently. Pretty sure giant jaguars are worth keeping. There does seem to be some enthusiasm for magma.
Well, I mean, it's been ages since you killed people with magma. I feel you should give it another go.
Right. But like, it's a nice safe fortress where people don't get randomly melted. Okay, if we were going to organise a trip to another layer of caverns below the ones we because current caverns clearly don't have any magma in. Seb says nice and safe except when we let the sea in. Yes. So we already have a staircase that goes basically down to the bottom of well, okay, fairly close to the bottom of the oh, it's a caravan from Ilsonget-Thattil. But I bet they haven't brought any wagons, because no one brings wagons anymore. Also, I dismissed that alert before checking where they'd come in. Yes, like there's perfectly good 3-wide track between there and the trade depot, but for some reason you haven't actually brought any wagons along it. I think you can tell that there aren't that there are cage traps there and you won't accidentally trip them. Hope so. Still trying to come up with a clever way to filter corpses by species. So yes, anyway, let's head down to here and then just construct. So does this already have a convenient trapdoor at the top we can lock if we have to? No. Okay, we do appear to have... Oh right, I was trying to find some coal here, wasn't I? Well, let's dig slightly further that way then. While we're here, mark that wall for smoothing in case we can. Anyway, there's kaolinite there. I think we should actually put the trapdoor at the gold mine layer. So once we've dug down a little bit below here, so that's the bottom of the known caverns. Probably the cavern layers don't overlap. Yes, that's not unexpected. Right, we should probably bring some of our goods up here. These are dwarven merchants, so we don't really need to worry about what we're selling them. So I think I'm going to mostly go for things from that stockpile, the second-hand clothes stockpile, which I think is set 27. Oops, didn't mean to close that. Oh well. Yeah, that looks like a good one. On the grounds that that is where we have lots of stuff we really don't want. Apparently seems to be a bit of a shortage of bins in that stockpile. It's true there aren't that many. What are you carrying? You're carrying an albatross object skeleton. That is not actually worth keeping. I mark it for dumping immediately. Right. Where have we got a great horned owl component there? I think that turned from a rotten corpse to a skeleton while I was looking at it. That was a bit weird. I probably want a hotkey for somewhere down in these mines, don't I? People are getting into scraps with peregrine falcons again. Right, yes, so... Oh, did that one get cancelled as well because it's damp? How annoying. It's probably just damp because the water's coming down this staircase, isn't it? That's just irritating.
If we will leave staircases in the way of the water.
Still, that's probably a reason to install a hatch on it so as to keep water out of the next level down. Yes, that's actually a really good idea. Don't think it really matters what it's made of, because then that will stop the water coming down. That's continuing down the staircase, and indeed it will get properly diverted off into the drains here. So like that's almost sensible. Just clean up this lignite while we're here, though it's going to be a bit slow and faffy. Oh no, because it's a tiny, tiny amount of lignite. I presume you're now heading down here. Looks like it, yes. Dry there now, so actually we should, to reduce the amount of water coming down the staircase, we should mark anything damp for smoothing, if in the hope that that one day happens. Right, now we are digging downwards without worrying about dampness. Good. Even though there's quite a lot of dampness nearby. Well, no, it's the water we've poured down into the caverns, because we use them as use the caverns for drainage.
So it's sort of ex-sea.
Well, yes, quite a lot of it is in fact the sea. It does appear to have managed to get purified somehow. We found some cobaltite, that's nice. Found quite a lot of cobaltite.
Which I assume contains cobalt. Does it contain anything else?
Yeah, you can't get the cobalt out, which is a pity. You should be able to use it to make blue glass or something. We have struck tetrahedrite.
And then gone, ow, pointy.
Mostly we're just digging through an awful lot of granite down here. Well, that's not very exciting. Let's keep going. Should we keep going downwards? Have we got that floor hatch in place yet? No. Is someone working on it? Kind of want to be in a position where if we do find something nasty, we can run away. Someone is on the way to put in that floor hatch, right? Then I will be optimistic and keep digging. Well, that's apparently as far down as we can go. Oh well, let's see what happens. No. Just follow the miner downwards. They promptly give up on the mining. You're going to get a drink or something? I forgot to pay attention. No, you've just got no job. But... Oh, did I miss one square or something? Let's try that. Right. Oh, possibly it was because I did that and messed things up as a result. Now our miner has got distracted by the need to diagnose a patient, which, like, is quite a high priority. I accept that. But it is quite a long way up to the bit of the fortress that, like, has patients in. You're getting tired climbing this staircase. That was quick. Diagnosis is complete. Oh, we've discovered an expansive cavern deep underground. This one has underground vegetation in it, which is slightly dangerous because it means that underground vegetation will now start growing above ground as well. Or not above ground, will now start growing in higher bits of the caverns as well. Okay, that's only ordinary size cave spider silk. We found a rodent man though. But that seems to be the bottom of that. You say it's an expansive cavern, but it doesn't seem to be very many Z levels high. Or is there more of it over here? Even there. Doesn't seem to go down very far. So, I mean, we could mine down through this, but I think that's probably not the best move. We would do better to at least somewhat seal off that section of caverns and find a vertical shaft we can go down through it. So I reckon there's another layer of caverns deeper down. Please don't wander off into the caverns. Oh, you aren't doing good. What else do we have down here? We have crundles. And like the usual range of one of our leopards is getting into fights now. I think our leopard is doing rather better there than the great horned owl, which is probably what we would hope for. Possibly we should actually train our leopards for war, merely so that they are a bit tougher than the ordinary leopard. So that'll probably get them killed less. We do want to keep the leopards primarily for... actually, there's an argument that we should keep the leopards. We have a grizzly bear we can train for war. That might be quite fun. Actually, there is... I don't want a war ocelot. That seems like a really bad idea. Possibly we should keep these two leopards underground so that they're reasonably far from the wildlife. I presume there's a dwarf on the way down to dig this eventually, but it is quite a long way down. Ooh, what's that? Oh, there's a cave crocodile down here. Let's just go for the simple approach and assign and ask for the leopards to be kept with the laying birds. They're not technically birds, but though that might make their war training harder, I don't know. Maybe I should just find the person who's doing the digging, follow them down again. So now I can add a hatch cover here in order to try to again keep us slightly separated from the contents of the caverns. Found more gold. It is an awfully long way to bring gold, but we're going to have to find some way to bring magma up from down here, which we might just do by trying to like carry it up in a minecart or something. Carving suitable minecart ramps is going to be a slow process. Ah, we have found some warm rough-hewn granite. Okay. So that probably means that the Z level below this is full of magma. Well, let's make another attempt at carving the staircase. So we at least expose the magma. Is that sensible? I think that's safe. Fairly safe anyway. Oh, we probably have to actually assign a trainer to our potential war leopards, don't we? Oh, it's set to train at any. That'll probably work. Oh, they are now war leopards. Right, that was quick. Right, so we now have... we now have 2 war leopards, but we are keeping them out of the way in the hope that that will stop them getting eaten by the wildlife. Oh right, these cages are forbidden. That obviously needs to be fixed. At least that cage is forbidden. The other cages lying around here are all ones that people were trying to put into the cage traps that they then abandoned because there were still goblins around. Hang on, do we actually have a generic animal cage stockpile at the moment? So this one is carefully limited only to goblins and beak dogs and such. Stray in animal descriptions in Dwarf Fortress just means that they don't have an owner. I think as war animals I can actually explicitly assign them owners, but I don't think I want to do that anyway, because then they might go like and get into fights with goblins, and we don't want that with these. These leopards are here as our breeding pair in order to provide us with many more leopards. Right, try not to die of magma. Right, we have discovered a great magma sea and run away. Great magma sea! It's orange. I mean, I suppose that's not unreasonable, really. So, happily, magma doesn't have much by way of hydrostatics. So the fact that the magma is actually extends several Z levels above the staircase we've just dug is not itself a problem. But we might want to try to come up with some reasonable way of loading it into mine carts. The problem is that, like, getting power down here is quite hard, so having powered rollers is quite hard. I mean, unless you're willing to resort to gratuitous exploits, but also I'm not sure water wheels are working properly. Like, we could run a shaft all the way down from the surface, but that would be an awful lot of wood. So last time I wanted to get a small amount of magma. I think I did something involving dwarf-powered pumps, and essentially had a small pool that I could place a minecart in, and then pump magma in and pump magma out. Steph says, can't you have a magma-powered power station? Well, not really. I mean, I now wonder if you could have moving magma powering a water wheel made of nether cap or something. But yeah, I don't think that will work usefully. So yes, you definitely can't build a steam engine. We would have to use the magma as a source of direct mechanical power, which would be quite silly. We would also need a magma sink somewhere. I don't know if the magma sea is an infinite magma sink. Like, can we pour magma into it? So, I mean, possibly we could just dig out, like, a reasonable area here that we could cut holes in the floor in order to do things. Steph says, can't you just pour magma into the actual sea? I would point out that the actual sea is 100 Z levels above the magma, so we can't exactly pour it, we have to move it, which is the problem we started with. So, yes, I think I will start by, like, yes, you can pressurize magma, and the results tend to be quite exciting. But if we want to actually pump upwards, we need an awful lot of pumps to get us up to the surface, because a pump will only gain you one level, broadly speaking. So one thing there are volcanoes in Dwarf Fortress, which is a much easier way to get magma if you just embark on a volcano. I have done that once, and then we did. Oh dear, it's all warm down here. I have to repeatedly redesignate things for digging, don't I? And when I did that, I did take the magma and pour it into the sea in order to cast obsidian earthworks. But I'm not. It's a lot more effort if you're doing that from all the way down here. And like, I haven't yet tried to build a mechanism for hoisting magma all the way up in quantity, all the way up from the magma sea to the surface. So maybe this is the game when I should do that. But it would need an awful lot of windmills. I mean, either that or we actually attempt to build a magma piston, but those seem kind of scary. Why do I have a bit of digging mark there? Let's make that go away. I should probably set a... Yes, let's go back down again and set a hotkey for the magma. Where's the button for a hotkey? Is it that one? No. Maybe it is. There, right. Right, that's the one I want there. So F4 will take us down here. Right, we do need, well, actually we could just construct that giant hamster cage over here, couldn't we? Any other cages we need to construct? None of our copper gauges has anything good in it. Apparently got a KV. It's not very helpful, but whatever. Oh, there was a... maybe I've accidentally asked to construct... Someone else construct something that was brought by these friendly... well, I don't know that we've got any raw clear glass, and I think we might occasionally need it. Merchants. Don't really want lots of metal cages. They're awfully heavy. We don't need a donkey. We don't need a goose either. We'll take your dwarven ale and dwarven wine. Probably your empty barrels as well. Because like we always seem to be a bit short of barrels. Even the highly decorated barrel. We'll have a steel spear. But the thing about dwarves is they're even more likely than others people to be turning up with things we've already got plenty of. Because anything they bring we can probably make. Kind of as a point of principle, I might buy some cheese if they brought any cheese. Maybe we'll want to find some books, I don't know. Right. Well, that'll do. Just take that bin full of stuff. Probably all we want from them. So, SGT says, barrels of bumblebee venom. Gosh, does that have uses? No, it doesn't. Yes, for some reason the dwarves like making book bindings out of rock. I mean, possibly because they like making everything out of rock. But that does mean it's made out of all the kinds of rock that exist, some of which are almost certainly inappropriate for making book bindings out of. Yes, there is a goblin waiting to be hurled into the sea. What are you butchering? Is it anything useful? Giant hamster bits. Giant hamster bits are not worth doing anything with. I mean, like, the best thing to do with a giant hamster is to train it. You can't train it for war, sadly. Oh, on which subject? We did have that grizzly bear, didn't we? We should train the grizzly bear for war, since it was very quick with the leopards. War grizzly. They probably, grizzly bear probably can be let out to attack the goblins. Also, we don't have a breeding pair of grizzly bears. Damn it, that happened while I wasn't looking. Rather, we made a bit more progress while I wasn't looking. Oh, right, good. Right, I can now do this interactively. And we can get the whole room dug out reasonably efficiently, and then we can think about what we're making down here. So I think what I want is like a small room that we can seal off, that we can then pump magma into. So we'll need to make a magma safe pump. And then we arrange to be able to pump the magma out of it again. We probably want to be a bit careful to avoid accidentally pressurising the magma sea, but we could pump it out into a small reservoir that drains into the magma sea or something like that. I mean, or we could try to get magma all the way to the surface, but it's an awful lot of Z levels. You got distracted. Oh, good. I mean, this was an entirely arbitrary size of room, so it's kind of pointless that I'm very carefully cutting it out. So then we're going to need to build, like, possibly I shouldn't have dug all of this out, I don't know. So we'll want a screw pump. Can we do that? I have to think about what's magma safe now. We've got lots of porcelain. Which is not magma safe, sadly. And what's the nearest block we've got that's magma safe? Nothing I've got is magma safe. Not that it really no, yes. Okay, even granite isn't magma safe. Anhydrite, kimberlite. Didn't think the block was going to be the hard thing to find. All right, anhydrite is magma safe. But copper almost certainly isn't. So we're going to, if nothing else, need a magma safe corkscrew. And the magma safe tube. Have we got any decent amounts of nether cap lying around? Is there any nether cap in the lower? Caverns. It doesn't look like it. We've got tunnel tube and spore tree and goblin cap and tower cap. Because obviously, well, maybe obviously, you can make magma safe equipment out of nether cap, but this does depend on your actually having any nether cap to hand. I don't think we do. I bet we've turned it into barrels anyway. Right, yes, or rather, no. So, green glass is, I think, magma safe, isn't it? Conveniently. Okay, yes. Glass behaves somewhat oddly with magma, despite being strictly magma safe. Built glass furniture will survive indefinitely when covered with magma, but unbuilt glass items tend to disappear instantly when submersed in magma. Well, that's fine. So what we could do is just set up a little magma glass furnace down here. And use that for building materials to make our I think that layout means course, the magma glass furnace itself has to be made out of a magma safe material, I believe. One of the 8 border tiles needs to be over magma, so let's dig a small hole in the floor here. Revealed a bit more. Let's stick a hatch there. So now if we go build workshop, no, not magma forge, build workshop, furnaces, magma glass furnace. So we can't build that directly out of, are there any blocks we can use? We'll build that out of anhydrite. And then we should be able to, and then let's make a small sand stockpile here. Can we do that? How do we stockpile sand? I don't think it qualifies as a stone, does it? No. Unlike clay, which does. Do we stockpile it as furniture? Investigate. See if I can get a quick. Filled bags of sand are considered furniture and as such require the furniture hauling labour to be moved. Sandbags are stored in furniture stockpiles with sandbags enabled, located under type. Note you must allow all items under core quality and total quality unless you're being weird. Right. So custom tools, was it? I've already got that wrong, haven't I? Furniture, sorry. Type, a sandbag. All, total quality, all. Right, there are at least some items coming down to the deep sand stockpile, though maybe only one. I may need to start bet you're butchering something boring and I'm going to tell you to stop. Yes. Thank you for making us a masterpiece copper cage. See, this kind of thing is why I would like to be able to automate tidying these things up. Oh, I should unforbid that minecart. No, I should lower the bridges first. Dear, something's rotting. Oh, we've got a troll somewhere. Right, there's a troll in the lower caverns. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was looking for animals that need to be marked for training, wasn't I? I.e. animals in cages not already marked for training. Doesn't look like we have any. That's slightly surprising. In that case, do we have any trained animals still locked in cages? That grizzly bear should not actually be in a cage, should it? Geld the cavy boar. That beak dog cage should be dismantled so that it can be thrown in the sea. Similarly that one and that one and that one. Seeing if there's anything here that's actually tame. Those can obviously be let out. Right. So we have plenty of sand around, don't we? We have a sand collection zone somewhere. An obvious place would be like down here, but I think it's a bit too rocky down here. Let's set up a small sand collection zone in this convenient guild hall. Oh no, maybe not, because it's set up a small sand collection zone up here. Add right, so that can then be used to get sand, and we can just schedule some collect sand jobs in our boring glass furnace up here. giant hamster has reverted to a wild state. That's probably for the best, because that means it can get trained again, but it was probably stuck in like semi-wild. I hope. I hope I hope it was one that we hadn't already let out. That means that the war grizzly is actually in here. Well, let's wait for our things to move. Yes, that's slated for removal, that's fine. Merchants, I'm slightly concerned that some of the animals I'm trying to do things with are actually with the merchants. We could build... bet you're butchering something I don't want you to butcher. People keep doing that. Oh no, you are actually butchering what is probably a beak dog. Right, so the beak dog cage has been stored in the correct place for hurling it into the sea. That cage appears to be unoccupied, so we can remove it. We appear to have a tame rooster there. Yes, well, you can emerge if you want to. Slightly concerned that we may be like accidentally stealing from the merchants, but I don't think we're doing so. Right, and we have a bag of sand here, good. And we have a magma glass furnace. So if I then say, please make us an enormous green glass corkscrew, will that work? It does seem kind of rude to be hurling the beak dogs into the sea, but there's not much else we can do with them. Right. Someone is trying to come down here to make a green glass corkscrew. So let's add the other parts we're going to want. And we want a tube. We're going to want some blocks. Also have a war cave dragon, which we probably can't safely do much with. Unless we can come up with some plausible way to separate it. Well, no, we can't even have it have children because there's only one of it. I fear that the cave dragon's going to get hurled into the sea as well for reasons of safety. Yeah, actually making things out of glass. I don't think he's much good with glass, but hang on. That was a beak dog fighting. That shouldn't be happening. Should it? Like, I didn't ask anyone to let a beak dog out of a cage. It's a tame mongoose. Cage has no one in it, so we can remove it and put it back into a cage trap somewhere. Similarly, that one. Right, we are getting more creatures trained now. I should be able to find them around here somewhere. You're still agitated, so you're not useful. I think that probably says tame. Aslef fibimili. Let's just check. Yes. Let's make a cage stockpile simply so that I can find them. Have it give to that stockpile just in case beak dogs and such end up in the wrong stockpile. Okay, we have a lot of cages that need putting into a cage stockpile. Oh, I presume that empty cages are not allowed in there. Alright, turn off empty cages and empty animal traps. Obviously, okay, now my entire European rail atlas is getting quite warm. Okay, how has a beak dog ended up getting out? I think it got killed anyway. I'm going to temporarily forbid that corkscrew until we've got all the other bits we need to make the to make a pump. We're actually going to want 2 pumps, of course, aren't we? Possibly I should be doing this through the job manager thingy, but discarding more objects before they get pointlessly butchered. Right. So our swimming training is being foiled slightly by there being a small number of random objects down here that should be stored somewhere else. That's in part because this stockpile is completely full of, well, empty bags mostly. Feels like we want to do something about them. Can they be stored slightly more efficiently? Apparently not. So we appear to have a cage here with a goblin in it, which surely is wrong. So only empty cages should be in there. Well, that's probably going to save the goblin for a bit. What's that capital M? All right, yes, that's a mule. So I have marked the grizzly bear cage for installation, which means we can then release the grizzly bear from it, which is perfectly safe because the grizzly bear is tame and thus we're going to train it for war. You have a hazelwood kiwi cage, sorry. So there's now a green glass tube in there as well as a green glass corkscrew. Oh, are you butchering something inappropriate? Does look like it, yes. Quite know how we ended up owning a rooster cage. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have deliberately bought that. Big B says, weird tribute. Oh, it's possible, yes. I have read all our tribute reports, so I hope I would have noticed, but got quite a lot of tame giant hamsters now, you know. If anyone wants a giant hamster as a pet, they're available. I'm not quite sure whether I want to allow them to carry on breeding. We seem to be successfully removing animals from cages, so that's nice when hurling them into the sea. Maybe we should just like set up a zoo or something for the to keep the dragon in. Pretty sure that's a corpse we don't care about. Yep. Getting a decent stock of sand down here. Indeed, it looks like we should now have enough parts to build one pump. Unfortunately, someone has gone and constructed a bunch of stuff in the way. But let's go for having a pump that pumps from left to right, say. Which I think still means I need to select that. We can say 1 green glass block, 1 green glass corkscrew, 1 green glass tube. That should make me a green glass pump. I'll make gratings out of glass. Yes, good. Can we make minecarts? I think that might be going a bit far. No. Oh, we're going to want a door as well, aren't we? We are slowly getting rid of the dog skeletons. It's taking a bit of effort, but like the signal box is now completely free of them. We can continue removing cages that are now empty. Releasing animals that don't need to be in cages. Right, yes. Well, it's hotter here, but that's because I'm sitting underneath a rather warm laptop that's running Dwarf Fortress. Right, so a bunch more animals can be released. That's nice. So many things to be dumped. Ah, here's someone building our first glass screw pump. So if I've got this right, then it's pumping from the left. It says it is, at least, so that's good. So then what we want is essentially to build a little room big enough to hold oh, this is quite complicated, isn't it? Yes, we don't need a second pump. No, I'm wrong. We might need some magma safe mechanisms. Steel's magma safe, isn't it? Yes. So we could build. So obviously we need a small room there that we can stick mine carts in.
Shall I turn this off?
Yeah. And then we could let's cancel all of those. Add another grate. So then the idea is that I'll have. See, that means we're going to need more walls, doesn't it? So the idea is that then I'll have a door there, a grate there, and we just pour the magma out and wait for it to clear up, and it'll be a slow process, but it'll work. So do we also put a door there? Why does portal have a capital P? Maybe because of the game. That means we're going to want a second grate actually if I'm going to do it like this, which I've already ordered. Good. Why is there still a merchant around? Shouldn't you have left the map by now? Yes, that is all scheduled for dumping. All right, we can now unforbid that minecart, of course. Which will allow for disposing of more dead things. Why is that not being placed in that minecart? All kinds of corpses are allowed. Clearly people are just not getting around to it. And another zinc rooster cage. Either that or I just did something really stupid. Okay, that giant wild boar has been adequately tamed. That's some cages scheduled for demolition. Building down here is going very slowly. Got the grate, but we haven't got the hole in the floor to use it yet. Why are you so grumpy? Don't know. Okay, you can name your shield if you want to. Oh, that's a bit worrying. There's water here. Where did that come from? Salt water at that. Oh. When I find salt water at the bottom of a stairwell, I worry. I worry that it might mean that the entire fortress is currently flooded with water. And I was just looking so deep below ground that I couldn't see it. Well, we're getting up there. Let's find out what's happened. Most of this water is water in places I expect it to be. Okay, the fortress hasn't completely flooded. Like that room's flooded, but we know about that one. That's because we accidentally punched a hole in the sea. Yes, I think it is indeed more or less bedtime, even though we haven't built our magma transport system yet. So I think it's probably about time I... Who are you? I have no idea. I think it's about time we wound this up and went to bed. So yes, not exactly a lot of progress, but we have at least found magma, which I think will make some people quite happy. And like we're doing quite well at training the animals we've captured, which is nice. So we will see you probably on Sunday when I expect it will be slightly less hot. Until then, I will say good night.